Hello and welcome to our 46th episode of This Week in Esports. That means it's Thursday, April 19th, 2018, and we are live and interactive here on Mixer. Now you'll notice there's just one of me. So guess what we're doing today, folks? I am your host, and I will be here with you. It'll be us. Well, you know, there's us together. This is how this works. It'll be me talking to you, you talking to me. Please help me out in chat, guys, because I am by myself today, and it's going to be great. Isn't it, audience of peers of mine? We got a couple of things that I know you're going to want to see, not the least of which is a fabulous interview, especially for you fighting game community fans. Get ready. We are faster than light, FTL, low latency, interactivity. You interact with us as the show goes on, thank God, because of course I am here by myself today. Now, the esports world, constantly changing as you all know, busier than ever as you also know. And since this show is for you, you of course get to decide what I, not we, talk about and cover and hype. So how do we do that? Well, I'm glad you asked. Go ahead and check out those voting options you'll see soon below the video window. That is right, we may be up on this desk, but this is your show. So we'll have trivia, videos to highlight, interviews, as I mentioned, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and much, much more. So be sure to get your selection in if you want to hear the latest from your favorite esports. But before we get into the games, it's time to get into our top segment for this week. Breaking news. I wish there was a graphic that had that, like, but there's not, so here we are. This is, of course, where we bubble up esports news and stories that recently came out. It's breaking news, everybody gets it. From today, in partnership with our friends at High Res Studios, we are announcing a change to the Mixer Smite console series and how it operates for the Season 5 summer split. Now, have no fear, console series ain't going anywhere, but the format of it is changing for the better. High Res has been taking feedback from the players community and esports teams in the console space, and instead of continuing with that open format, guess what? The Smite console series will be moving towards a league format. Now, within this league format, there will be 8 teams that duke it out in NA and EU, that's North America and Europa, with the top 2 teams per region qualifying for the LAN event with $15,000 in prizes on the line. Now, qualifiers for the new format kick off April 28th for Europe and April 29th for North America. We are super excited for this change, as it means we'll be seeing consistent teams and more storylines emerge from the competition. Now, this was only the quick hit recap, but if you want to learn more, go visit esports.smitegame.com for additional information and come back here on Mixer to watch the league kickoff. And if that wasn't enough, Smite Esports breaking news for you. High Res recently launched a new show called Smite Esports Weekly. This show goes through all the High Res news that you'll need to know, and it shows every Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific before the start of the Smite console series. It's going to contain interviews with pro players, recap news from the various leagues, and of course, anything you need to know about the games you love. Be sure to check out the past episodes, mixer.com/SmiteGame, and also on YouTube. And before we move away from the breaking news, check this out. Mixer character in Smite. Ooh, this is a god skin called Mixer Scatty? Is it Scatty, Lennox? Scotty? Beam me up is what I say. And she'll be joining Smite next week. It's super cool to have a character with the Mixer branding on them, so we're excited to get our hands on it. Ooh! How about them apples, chat? Agreed. Agreed. Count me in as well. Okay, so let's talk about interactivity, because it's enabled for this show. And that means it's time for you to vote. Right now, you'll see 4 choices to choose from that select the next segment. These choices are below the video window in the interactive section. Just click on the one you want. Now, you got 30 seconds to vote, which means I have 30 seconds to vamp because there's just me here. We're all in this together. Chat, how are you feeling? There are definitely a lot of Mixer staff in chat. I agree with you, Basic Riff. Primarily because I think they feel for me, and that I very much appreciate. At any rate, here we go. We got Redbull Contest, we got StarCraft 2, we got Madden or Forza Motorsport. Red Bull is currently, is it chosen? Is it done? And it's Take the Lead. Let's talk about Bull Conquest. Redbull Conquest. It's fine. I got this. Fighting game fans, don your training G's. G's? Channel your chi, I know that one. And get ready for Conquest. Redbull Conquest, that is. The new competitive fighting game circuit was announced by Red Bull in early March and features not one, but 3 fighting game titles. Fighters will prove their mettle across Street Fighter V, Arcade Edition, Tekken 7, and Guilty Gear. Oh, I knew I was going to get this one wrong, and our interviewee today is going to probably kill me. Guilty Gear XRD Rev 2. Boy, sorry about this, fighting game fans. This is what happens. So through 3 stages of the circuit: Rise, Rally, and Conquer. Okay, let's talk Rise. It's the training phase where fighters participate in locally organized tournaments to level up their fighting prowess and strengthen their community. Now, Rally is where the fun really begins. The circuit of regional qualifiers featuring 1v1 double elimination tournaments. Now, each of these qualifiers will crown 3 champions, 1 for each of the 3 featured games, who will then advance to the next and most important stage: conquer the Red Bull Conquest Finals. There's lots of C's and Q's in this read. I like it. The finals will feature the top 16 players from each game competing in a 3v3 single elimination bracket to crown the Conquest champion. Now, the Rise stage has been ongoing for the last couple of months, and the time to rally is almost upon us, with the first Red Bull Conquest regional qualifier taking place on April 28th in Chicago, Illinois, followed shortly by the second on May 19th in, of course, my lovely hometown of Seattle, Washington. Now, the circuit will find its way across the U.S. over the course of the summer, stopping in Atlanta, Boston, Dallas, Denver, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, Nashville, New York, Orlando, Philadelphia, Phoenix, and San Francisco. My gosh, you're going to have a lot of miles. Culminating in a last chance qualifier and Conquest Finals in Washington, D.C. in November from the 16th through the 18th. Whew! Lots of places to go. So this circuit is shaping up to be one hell of a brawl. Thank you for whoever wrote out hell of a. That you won't want to miss out on. For those looking to compete for the glory of the Conquest, there's still time to sign up for any of the qualifiers in a region near you. Just head over to smash.gg/Red Bull Conquest to register and find details on schedules, event dates, tournament rules. I dare say they probably will have all of the places that I mentioned earlier in some sort of condensed format. Something to remember. Okay, well, let's take a look at what's coming up next. And while I do, we'll take a look at what y'all have been saying. High definition, no idea what that means, but I like it. Choose the next segment. Here we go. We got Halo, which is a video highlight from our Halo World Championships over the weekend. We got StarCraft 2, we got Madden, and of course, Forza Motorsport is still on the board. Those guys over there are doing some great work. Let's see what else. What are you guys looking for? Looks like Halo is up there at the top, and I think it should be. And so I'm obviously going to vote for it. I was actually at the Halo World Championships over the weekend. Got to meet a lot of incredible casters. Got to see players like Jimbo, who absolutely killed it that weekend. So fun things there. Let's talk video highlights. It's our segment where we get to showcase stories within the esports scene that we think, well, you should watch. For this video, we've got an interview done at the Halo World Championships with the designer of the trophy that was given to the eventual winner. We traveled down to Halo Champions last weekend for some additional content. Check this out.
My name's Eric Jarman. I run a small prop studio in Atlanta, Georgia called Jarman Props, and I created the trophy for the Halo World Championship. This trophy is mostly comprised of a 2-part urethane. We prototyped it by first creating a digital model, rapid prototyping it on a couple CNC machines as well as some 3D printers. You take a quick snap mold of that, and then you cast it in a 2-part resin, prime it, paint it, and there you go. We were trying to get it around the weight of the Stanley Cup based on its size. After all was said and done, I think it weighs in around 14 to 17 pounds. So it's got a good heft to it. So it's, like they say in Jurassic Park, if it's heavy, then it's expensive. Put it down. When I build trophies, I try to make them as durable as possible so that, if it's dropped or, if they're being manhandled, they can withstand that kind of abuse. When people win these tournaments, they're going to be pretty excited about it, so they're going to want to really go for it. Some of my best memories from college was playing Halo 1 and 2. And that transitioned into getting into a costuming group called the 405th that does a lot of Halo costumes. my first costume I ever built was a Halo costume for Halloween, and that taught me how to do fiberglass, how to do Bondo work, and then that led into CNC design and 3D printing and modeling, and now it's my day job. So thank you, Halo, I guess.
Well, hey, listen, if you like that video, and why wouldn't you, check out Halo's YouTube channel at youtube.com/Halo Waypoint. Follow their channel at mixer.com/Halo. Now, we've got a lot of goodies buried within these video highlights, so if you see it as a voting option, make sure to select it. Speaking of voting, let's open it up again. By the way, very spirited chat today, which I really do appreciate. Don't understand some of it, but I appreciate it. Let's talk about what we're gonna, oh, look at that, Overwatch League seems to be up there next. We got Overwatch currently leading the pack at 67%. Got StarCraft 2, got Madden and Forza still both on the board. No love for Madden or Forza. It hurts me. It hurts me so deeply inside, but not that much because I really like Overwatch League. Okie dokie. Yep. There you go. Normally this is the time when I'm like talking to the person next to me, but I'm not going to make those references anymore, but I am going to talk to you about Overwatch League this week. Let's roll the videotape. The Overwatch League saw a nor'easterly upset. The West Coast saw the LA teams go streaking, win streaking that is, and Shanghai continues to do poorly. Welcome to Stage 3, Week 2. Now kicking things off with a defeat no one saw coming. That's Boston defeating New York Excelsior with the new DPS star player Mistakes, making them one of Stage 3's undefeated teams. Hey, speaking of Stage 3 winners, the LA Valiant. Yeah, that's right. They soared to new heights with their winning streak, putting them at the top of the Stage 3 standings and in prime playoff position. Try saying that 3 times fast. Their LA neighbors, the fantastic Gladiators, also enjoyed themselves some success over Shanghai and Seoul Dynasty, but arguably the most tense, and we might not get to it in the B-roll because this is a relatively short story, but arguably the most tense matches of the week came from Philadelphia. Thanks, guys, as they took out the Houston Outlaws in Game 5 and London Spitfire in OT. The look on the faces, which hopefully we'll get to at some point, of these guys, sweat. Absolutely incredible. You should see it. Hopefully we will. League standings are second verse, same as the first, with New York on top, followed by London and Seoul. And it was the biggest upset of the week over number 1 New York that helped keep Boston in that number 4 league spot. There Boston is, very excited, marred by controversy last week, bringing in the new DPS player Mistakes, and they took down number 1 seeded New York Excelsior. Let it be said, Boston, Patriots. Actually, last week was Patriots Day. Fun facts. Anyway, let's see what you're talking about next, shall we? The presenter is Kate, by the way, Reki Balboa, just in case you were curious. Next segment, we got Dota 2, StarCraft 2, Madden, or Forza Motorsport. Ooh, StarCraft 2 looks to be at the top of the standings right now. Who's everybody excited about? I know, you know what? Smurf69, I agree. Poor Shanghai Dragons, still no win. Like, come on. Gosh, like, oh, One Woman Army. I do like that. Agent Epic. Oh, cool name, by the way. Fancy gamer tag. You got 10 seconds, buddy. Looks like Dota 2 is also coming in. This is also a relatively short story, guys, because I know things. Okay, looks like Dota 2 has it. This is what happens when the international is still a ways away, and we haven't had a major in a hot moment. But let's talk about a minor, shall we? North American Dota had a good week, taking home the championship from Star Ladder Imba TV Invitational Season 5. It's a mouthful, but it was actually a relatively small event, and I'll tell you why. The road was long, but the victory sweet, as the 8 teams started out pool play in the best of 3 matches. But it was pretty clear from the beginning that VGJ Thunder, also very hard to say, come on, guys, were out for blood as they made their way through the brackets. Okay, Season 5's third and final minor. Now, just remember, Valve put out 10 majors, 10 minors. Minors have a smaller, it's literally what they mean. They have smaller prize pools, smaller pro points. Majors have major prize pools and major prize points. Now, they showcased Dota teams from around the world, but it came down to the Green Wall from North America. One other thing to remember, Green Wall started in 2016 in Dota, so still a relatively new team, but obviously making waves. This is, of course, I'm speaking of Optic Gaming, and they went up against the Chinese VGJ Thunder. And though game one saw Optic stumble with a little VJ, I knew this is the problem. We all knew it was going to happen. Did we all take a poll? Kate was going to say something wrong. But VGJ, can we all just try saying VGJ Thunder for a minute? VGJ Thunder, okay, that was, okay, well, we'll move on from there, guys. Thank you. At any rate, their momentum in that first win, thought they were going for it, but guess what? The finals would go to Game 5, ultimately seeing some solid drafting by OG, brought the battle to a head, and ultimately the win to North America. Now, Optic takes the title and the lion's share of the $300,000 prize, as well as those oh-so-important pro points. Now, remember, the only team so far in the standings to qualify via points for the international is VP, that's Virtus Pro, with Team Liquid hot on their heels. So there you go. Words are hard in Esports Edition. That's what this said. I didn't even read that right. How weird. Anyway, yes, they are hard. Esports! Absolutely. Let's see what we're talking about next. More importantly, trivia. I will tell you it's trivia. Now, here's a fun fact, by the way. Trivia is very important today because trivia, while normally we have the leaderboards at the end, which we still will, don't worry, and while I'm talking about it, you can tell which team won the star letter IMBA TV Invitational. Just shoot me already. But I will say that this week has an added bonus. Lennox? No, I know. I was gonna ask you, so this week, how many codes do we have?
We have 10 Madden codes.
10 Madden codes. So well, what have we decided? The top 10?
Top 5 is 2 codes each, one for themselves and one for their friends.
Nice. Okay, so here it is. We give a leaderboard with the top 5 people to answer these questions, the people that get the top 5 most right answers. Those 5 people get 2 codes apiece of Madden NFL 18. Yep. Madden 18. So there's also some things on the line. So make sure you get it in. Oh, whomever said VGJ Thunder, I feel you. And they could have won, but no. No. At any rate, Ricari cannot play. You cannot. Also, Ricari, you have Madden 18. I'm pretty sure I've seen it. At any rate, no. But yes, you can definitely, somebody brought up my Randy Savage 425. You brought up the fact that I used to work at a TV station, and it's true. Though this is much more fun. Guess what? Speaking of fun, Optic Gaming took home the win. So whomever answered Optic Gaming, that 89%, well done. You are one step closer to a possible 2 codes of Madden 18. Let's go to the next question, shall we? Here we go. Which team currently leads the standings in the Overwatch League? We got the LA Valiant, Boston Uprising, New York Excelsior, or the Philadelphia Fusion. Philadelphia is doing a pretty good job, and you know who would want me to say that? This week on Xbox is Jeff Rubenstein, big Philadelphia Fusion fan. Boston Uprising also had a really good, actually all 4 of these teams had pretty good weeks in the Overwatch League, so not too bad, but I think we're all seeing which team comes out on top. Here we go. The stakes have never been higher. Get ready, you're absolutely correct. And that is what I'm going to say. Let's start. We have, how many seconds left here? Oh, 15 seconds. So guys, get your votes in. Remember, for those in the top 5 on our leaderboards at the very end of our fabulous show, you get 2, count them, 2 codes apiece of Madden 18. It's kind of a big deal. Give one to yourself, maybe one to a friend, or a sworn enemy that you want to throw off the scent. I don't know. That's a thing. Okay, so guess what? Now that the ticker is done, obviously it was New York Excelsior. Even though Boston Uprising did beat them, they're still at number 4 in the league standings. So that's true. And our third and final trivia for this portion of the show, where is the first event of the Red Bull Conquest? New York, Florida, Los Angeles, or Seattle? Which it should say second. So disregard, where is the second event of the Red Bull Conquest? Second event. So it says first. That's wrong. I'm assuming it's true. Answer will still be correct, but second event, not first. Second event. And I'm pretty sure I know the answer as well. And we've got the timer down to 30 seconds. I'll give you a hint if you really want one. It's my hometown. Which kind of seems funny because Seattle isn't very, like, hometowny, you know? It's not like, I don't know, like a thing. I think that's right. Did I totally just give a wrong tease? Are we effing people all over? No? Yeah. There you go. Esports. Esports. It's true. So let's talk about it. One, I'm going to say I have to double check with Lennox. Is it D? Is it Seattle? Seattle, yes. May 19th here in the Emerald City. Something to remember right there. Okay, well, let's talk about what you want to talk about next. And that means our voting options should be seen down below. We have some options when it comes to Call of Duty, StarCraft 2 still on the board, Madden, and Forza Motorsport. Now, where are all my Madden fans out there? Let's talk about things. Call of Duty, obviously, a very big deal. We got Call of Duty World League actually also coming to Seattle. It's been a very big last couple of weeks for esports here in the Emerald City. We had Halo World Championships last week in the same exact venue, Call of Duty World League this weekend. All I'm saying is that I have my plans pretty much covered. So there you go there. So we got Call of Duty currently at 38%, Forza Motorsport coming in hot, right on their tails. Oh, almost. Oh, no, just hedged them out. Call of Duty, here we go. Now, in Seattle, the next Call of Duty tournament is upon us. CWL Seattle will be the 5th major international offline Call of Duty World War II tournament and will take place April 20th. That's tomorrow through the 22nd. That's Sunday. Featuring the best teams the game has to offer, fighting for their share of $200,000. This is an opportunity for players to not just win big moolah, but pro points as well. Now, players with the highest pro points are eligible to be invited to open events, invitationals, and of course, the CWL Global Pro League. Now, the open bracket will consist of over 160 teams set to fight for their right to enter pool play. The stakes rise as the pool play consists of only 20 teams in 4 groups of 5, playing in the best-of-5 series against each team in each group, with the top 2 moving on. There's a lot there, but go with me on this one. 12 of these 20 teams will be the best CWL Pro League Stage 1 teams. We're talking FaZe Clan, Optic Gaming, Luminosity, Team Caliber, Red Reserve, E-United, Rise Nation, Team Envy, Echo Fox, Unilad Esports, Complexity, and Splice. I assume this will all be on a website, so don't worry. The remaining 8 teams in pool play will consist of the top 4 relegation teams. Yeah, you heard me, relegation, the thing that sends chills down every esport player's backside. That means the top 4 teams to make it out of open brackets. Now, when these killer teams are reduced to 8, we will have the championship bracket, which will be all best of 5, and act like a normal bracket where our champions will be decided. Now, in the last CWL tournament in Columbus, Ohio, we saw FaZe Clan decimate the competition and take home that championship. Now, the only way to see if they can continue their reign or if they are overthrown will be to watch the action unfold live this Friday, that's tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific, on MajorLeagueGaming.com/CWL Seattle 2018. I'm so excited. I'm going. It's true. So here we go, folks. Let's take it here we go. Choose the next segment. Gears. We got a Gears video highlight. We just did actually Gears All Access last night, and we had an incredible time, an incredible series that is. So watch for that. Got StarCraft 2 still on the board, Madden still on the board, and Forza Motorsport still on the board. Gears video highlights. Tell you what. What are y'all thinking there in chat? Gears is hot. Thank you. I do appreciate the nice hair comment, GWP07. It's true. So here we go. Looks like Gears has it. So let's check it out. We're going to actually take an event recap from the Coalition on the most recent Gears Pro circuit, that, of course, the Las Vegas Open event. Roll it.
We are live from the Caesars Entertainment Studios in Las Vegas.
It feels amazing to be back in Vegas.
I mean, Sin City, I love it.
My hope for this event is to just come to Vegas and win.
to back out, knowing there was members there. Oh, actually one member. That's Sleepy coming up from behind, getting a triple kill. Ghost walks away with this one 2-1.
Ghost, ever since last season, was a team that kind of flew under the radar. And then even going into this season, again, 3rd place and 2nd place. Sooner or later, we'll be on top.
Lava now needs to try to back up here. He has to give up this control, fighting this fight. Can he get the shot? He's gonna peel the lid back there on Attorney. Bye-bye, buddy. Your head is gone. And now he's forced to go in towards that respawn. Another shot goes in there too. Lava finds that one in crush mode. An absolute clinic from Lava with the long shot.
For Motivate to come out here and win map number 1, they have to do something completely different than we've seen.
Motivate, if they're able to make this happen, this will be the first time Optic Gaming have ever lost on Lift, and they make it happen.
Take a look at our open bracket teams. We have teams such as Aspire and Mindfreak making it to pool play. Congratulations.
Mindfreak is, we are really happy that we are out of open back to pools again. As long as we keep cool-headed, I think we could do some damage.
Rise Nation comes up big in the end of Vexies with the big plays. They're standing up.
You look at players like Drix and the Vexies winning crucial 1v1s. That was big.
And that is going to do it. Task Force will take the win in this series 2-0.
And ladies and gentlemen, Supremacy takes this in Game 3.
The game we have all been waiting for. Ghost Gaming going against Echo Fox.
Kyle's the next man alive. I don't think he can make it, folks. Ghost Gaming goes to your winner bracket finals.
Ghost is one of the most passionate teams in the league, if not the most passionate team. The reasons for us individually why we want to win are reasons that are way greater than ourselves.
I just want to say this Fable and Optic match has been phenomenal.
It's going to be crazed. 1 versus 1 here in this situation. The domination is going to be coming in. Explosives trying to waste their time.
There we go! Congratulations to Fable as they 2-0 Optic Gaming. For the first time in Season 2, Optic Gaming has seen a loser's bracket.
Coming to this event, people are still doubting us. So this event really does mean a lot, kind of to show everyone that like we're not a one-event team and we can do this again and again.
Welcome to Championship Sunday. 8 teams are left to battle it out. This is do or die. We are kicking things off with Optic Gaming going against E United.
2-on-2. The lead is already big. Optic went off 1 explosive. He gets it 1 more. Will he get the second? He gets the second. It's going to be Optic Gaming moving on in our losers bracket.
Optic Gaming against Echo Fox.
Icy with that sniper we saw what he did earlier. Waiting for the first. Gets the first shot on Kyle. That's 1.
Icy trying to
win this one up.
Icy. Optic Gaming, they're trying to establish that map presence.
Make it again.
3.
Oh my
goodness. Icy going huge here. He's going to be able to get the shot down there. Shotguns out. Icy. 4 kills in a row.
Optic Gaming 6-1, make it 7-1, and they eliminate Echo Fox here on Championship Sunday.
Champ bracket winners finals between Ghost and Fable is underway.
He's down and out. More players of Ghost are going to start to funnel through. But there you have the kills. Grim with the triple kill. Looking for it. Daddy's home, baby.
They're going to flood it. He's going to catch one.
Oh! And Ghost Gaming, they're moving forward. They're going to the grand finals.
Ronan actually has a chance to send Optic Gaming home.
Ronan eliminates Optic Gaming from the Gears of War Pro Circuit. Las Vegas Open, the 5-time champions have been knocked off of their pedestal.
It wasn't even the North American teams that took them out, and it just shows you how international Gears is growing.
What keeps us resilient is the wanting to win, the hunger. We all want to win so bad.
Fable, Ronan, toe-to-toe, winner takes on Ghost. Little T2 combo on Gears of War.
Exactly, that, but he didn't get put. Oh my God! Phelpsy putting on a show early on.
Fable wins and they move on.
The Las Vegas Grand Finals, Ghost Gaming versus Fable. Let's see who comes out on top.
When it comes to winning the trophy, we want it so bad. You don't understand. Like, we're so close, so close.
He gets free, looking for a 4th, and Phelpsy takes out Speedy. May actually be going to a round 13.
Map point for Fable, series point for Ghost.
It's gonna be a man, 2, 3, 4 members down of Fable. Ghost Gaming, can Krim clutch up, win the fight against Rib. Ribs is scurrying away, trying to regroup with the teammate. Krim, he needs to get Identis. He survives the boom shot, he goes down, and Ghost Gaming wins Vegas.
Kidding. Well, guys, if you like that video, check out Gears of War's YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Gears of War, and follow their channel at mixer.com/Gears of War. Now, we have a lot of goodies, obviously, in these videos, so make sure you always choose those highlights if you can. So there you go. But guess what? It's time for IRL Esports. Now, one of the goals of the show is to highlight the amazing people and events that happen in the esports and competitive gaming space, and every week we try to feature a different personality in the scene. This time, we have someone who has attended numerous esports events and knows a thing or two about hosting them as well. He's also a well-known... Speaking of hosts, he's also a well-known member of the FGC, especially when it comes to Injustice 2. Let's please welcome to the show, Joshua Gray, also known as Clutch from your MLG days. Guys.
Happy to be here.
And so is our audience. They are very excited, both online and off.
Happy to join your one-woman army. You're killing it up here. I know how tough it can be to carry a show on your own, folks. So,
it's so nice to be up here with someone. Let's talk a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
Give me the Josh bio. Tell us who you are and how your journey got you to sitting next to me right here at This Week in Esports.
Quite a journey. We'll start from the beginning. So first of all, as a young kid, loved video games, loved to perform, and always wanted to be on television, make movies, et cetera, et cetera. 1998, 1999, big fan of Counter-Strike, big fan of StarCraft Brood War, and I even participated in local events here in the Seattle area, down in Federal Way, where I grew up.
Now, was this Counter-Strike 1.6?
This was the 1.6 days, yes.
And Brood War for StarCraft.
I was getting wrecked in Counter-Strike, so I stuck with Brood War and did a couple of local tournaments and had a lot of fun. I was able to meet a lot of different people, not only locally, but also online. And if we fast forward about 10 years later, StarCraft 2 is coming out in 2010. Huge fan. I have my own YouTube channel. I'm doing a countdown series. And after the game comes out, it's just pretty much taking over all of my free moments that I have in between work and school. Hear about an event happening with MLG. Now, I had known about esports in the past with what Korea was doing with StarCraft Brood War and what MLG had been doing with Halo. So to see that MLG is going to be taking on StarCraft 2, we thought, oh, this is going to be great. I tried to get a ticket. Tickets sold out in 26 seconds. Couldn't get one. But a friend of mine was able to get a ticket. So myself and another friend drove with him to Raleigh, North Carolina, attended the event, and met some really cool people that worked for MLG. Introduced ourselves, showed them my YouTube video, and said, hey, we want to be a part of this in the future. How can we stay in contact? Stayed in contact. They hired my friend who competed as an admin, and they hired me as a cameraman. So for the next couple of events, I'm showing up as a cameraman, just, you know, one-hit wonder type of thing, showing up for the weekend and then saying goodbye to everybody. So it felt like a reunion every time we were going back to these different events. And I always wanted to host because my background was performance. I was going to school to get my acting degree. I just started my junior year in 2010. So when I was a cameraman, then I worked myself up to production assistant and was like, okay, how does this live scenario work? Learning all sorts of different facets when it comes to live production. But knowing that I always wanted to be a host. So we brought on League of Legends after StarCraft 2 was showing a lot of success for MLG. And the director next to me, I told him, like, hey, man, I like to host. If you need me, let me know. I'll bring my own suit jacket. And he's like, all right, man, I'll let you know if that's going to happen. So I brought it. And the last day, they were having some issues and hiccups with the spectator client because this was new for League of Legends. And next he's like, all right, man, now's your time to shine if you want to host. I said, great. Threw on the suit jacket, went out and did a little segment to explain what was happening, to make sure not to reveal everything that was happening with the game itself because the players could hear, and to thank everybody for their patience as we worked to get this resolved. And I remember I did that for the very first time anybody's ever seen me on camera in the esports world. And this younger kid whipped his head around and looked at me and went, that was really epic, man. I said, thanks, kid. And I went backstage and everybody on the production line were like, yep, yep, you're our host now. And so I was able to host not just for League of Legends, but then StarCraft 2. StarCraft 2 continued to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was able to grow my brand with the excellent people at MLG and then start working at other events outside of MLG and outside of StarCraft 2. Fast forward to 2012, I have a job offer in New York or a job offer in California right when I graduated with my bachelor's degree in acting. I decided to take the California job at minimum wage, pack up everything in my car in Virginia and move all the way to California and start working the very day that I arrive. I pulled up, parked, and then start working on the video board. Like, that's how quickly they put me to work.
I love it. Okay.
So that's 2010. NASL has the StarCraft 2 events that we do. They love our live broadcast, and minimum wage was tough.
Yeah.
It really was tough. But a couple months later, we were able to secure a contract with World of Tanks.
Ooh, okay.
So World of Tanks brought in a lot more money. I was able to have a living wage along with a number of other people, and we put together a really solid team to produce a World of Tanks esports circuit, esports show. We did that for about a year and a half. And at that time, ESL in Europe was starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Gotcha.
And they were coming to America. They called me up and said, hey, ESL's coming to America. Do you want to be a part of this? And I said, well, World of Tanks is paying my bills. So if you guys get the World of Tanks contract, obviously I'm going to be on board. That's exactly what happened. Unfortunately, NASL folded after that, but the majority of the team that worked at NASL came over to ESL America. Slowly but surely started off as contractors and then build themselves up to full-time salary. When we started that company, I was employee number 7, and we started with a warehouse full of nothing but sawdust. We just built our own tables, brought in our own computers, and started to get to work. Within a couple months, we built it into a fully functioning studio, and we had a solid team that was able to make a really good product with World of Tanks. Not the most popular game to watch, especially in America, but we had a solid 15-minute pregame show and a really tight 3 to 4 hour broadcast that was really refining all of us and our team members on how to make a really excellent show, even if though it's not the most popular game.
Well, it's also a popular, maybe not as an esport, but World of Tanks, World of Battleship, like those are iconic.
Yes,
for sure.
They are huge, especially in Europe, especially in Poland. So the global influence was amazing and allowed me to travel across the world. In China, South Korea, Germany, Poland. I had to host a show in Poland one time. There was technical difficulties, and they said, hey, we need you to fill for 15 minutes. And I went, okay, that's why I'm here.
Yay!
So we can empathize as hosts what that could be like. Fast forward a couple years after that, I had this opportunity to host for Warner Brothers for Gauntlet, which was a retro game that was coming back. We had this really fun show that we hosted both in Europe and in America. I hosted the American show. And outside, I was talking to a couple of the Warner Brothers people there. And they were saying, yes, we're looking at some other programs, and time stopped. And I knew exactly what they were going to say, and I knew what my reaction was going to be when they said it. And he said, Mortal Kombat. And I jumped up in the air, and I said, listen, I have ideas. I was a fighter for 10 years. I played baseball for 14 years. I come from a competitive background. I love competition, especially with fighting games. Here's how we can combine everything that our crew has learned. Let me work on what the vision's going to be. How am I going to level up what the fighting game world has not seen before, mix in what we've learned from esports, but still hold on to the core of what makes the fighting game world legitimate and genuine. And so we created the Mortal Kombat X Pro League. I was surrounded by a lot of gifted people. And when we went to the 9th floor at the Warner Brothers studio location in Burbank and having to explain to everybody, this is what this program can be, will you fund it? You know, that's asking for a lot, but they said yes. We did the first event called Fatal 8, and that's what really changed the hearts and minds of the developer, NetherRealm, and Warner Brothers to see, wow, this is an amazing 3-hour show. We understood everything that was going on, and this is now something that we can market and try to get more money into. So we were able to have 3 successful seasons. The overall budget we had was under $3 million. And recently, I showed off this video and made the claim that, you know, we could do this again with a fighting game title and competition for about $3.5 million. And I wanted to be very transparent about that, because a lot of people in the fighting game world and the esports world are going, okay, well, what's legitimate? What money is real? What's this dumb money coming in?
I was going to say, yeah, dumb money coming in. That's a great way to put it, right?
How can we trust these venture capitalists that are still using capital S in esports, right? So there's the benchmark. There's the benchmark. We were able to create this. And not only was this successful in the internet world of distribution, it was successful enough to put on network television for the very first time. Esports had ever been seen on network television with a documentary series that Machinima did called Chasing the Cup that was aired on the CW. I was able to be a very important piece of that and was very honored to be part of that team that made that possible. That showcased season 2, we did season 3, and then the seasons were over as we were getting ready for the release of Injustice 2. During that time, I was still working for ESL, doing a lot of different a lot of products and
projects. There's a lot of plates I'm seeing here, Josh.
I mean, you name the game, I've probably hosted or produced or written something for it when it comes to content. Fast forward to Injustice 2, we do the GameStop Hometown Heroes program, a regional-based based online circuit, focused more on the amateur players to bring more people into Injustice 2. Had the finals in Las Vegas. Then we had the Injustice 2 Pro Series finals on ESPN2 in LA, which was awesome. And then we did 4 episodes on TBS for E-League. One was on internet only, and 3 were on TBS. And that was an amazing experience to be a part of. So within this span, about 7.5, 8 years, I was able to accomplish my goals of combining my love of video games and performance and being on TV. So I'm like, okay, childhood goals, check. What's next? I decided to leave ESL to pursue what I want to do independently and to focus, still keep one foot in esports, but focus more of my energy, time, and talent into film and theater and comedy and writing and see where that goes. And be up here in Seattle.
Woohoo!
So there you go.
Good. Just. First of all, there is. That is.
That's why I'm getting more of these gray hairs, I think.
It's okay. You're in your prime James Bond years. You're fine.
Yes, exactly.
So I will say that this. It's interesting to me because you've touched on a couple of different. Your reach has been a couple of different games that are the Injustice 2s, the World of Tanks, the StarCraft 2s. Now StarCraft obviously huge. League of Legends. Do I need to say more?
Well, yeah, StarCraft 2 kind of paved the way, and League of Legends was able to go, okay, instead of a 1v1 game, this is a 5-man team game. It's a MOBA, which is kind of a new concept to a lot of people, and it exploded. It was the right atmosphere, and it was the right mode of distribution, broadband internet, that really was able to change the game of esports, for sure.
Well, now, so Injustice 2, let's go back to that, because it's relatively new.
Yes.
Relatively niche. I mean, I don't know. Actually, I shouldn't have said that because, quite frankly, I don't know why people wouldn't enjoy those characters. But what's got you excited about that title, or some of these that are not necessarily the biggest, or the Dota 2s internationals, or what's gotten you excited about some of these more peripheral esports?
Well, when it comes to Injustice 2, obviously it's a sequel to Injustice, which came out after Mortal Kombat 9, which changed really the NetherRealm scene, because the community, along with the success of Street Fighter 4, saw what Mortal Kombat 9 could be with the local competitions and then starting to grow more online. Injustice 1 came out, online still wasn't where it needed to be when it came to fighting games, but they were getting closer and closer. And obviously with DC characters, you have a huge fan base that's going to be intrigued.
Yes.
After the huge success of Mortal Kombat X, I mean, that game went gangbusters for NetherRealm and Warner Brothers, along with the Mortal Kombat X Pro League. Injustice 2 was that next logical step of, okay, here we go. Now, Injustice 2 is different compared to Mortal Kombat. Not only the game style's a little bit different, you have DC characters that can't kill each other, so it's a little bit limited on the violence. But having a title that features some of the most iconic characters ever in pop culture, and to see it presented in a style graphically that looks gorgeous, the music is on tempo and upbeat and just kind of perfect in this scenario. The story for the single player campaign is great. And then you have the gear system where you're able to customize the look of your character.
Gamers love customizing.
Along with all sorts of tools for a single player experience, the multiverse, the AI system that helps you get better at how to play that character. To me, I'm always excited to see what NetherRealm's going to do for the next title, because they bring in a lot of tools that help people that are not as familiar with fighting games get more adjusted and to be able to learn why it's so much fun not only to play, but to watch. And NetherRealm continues to push that envelope to make their games better, not only for the in-person experience, but for the online experience. When they made Mortal Kombat XL with the new upgraded netcode, that changed everything. Because now, when I played online, it felt like I was playing with somebody in the same room. And that's what competition needs to have. And that's what we had with Mortal Kombat X and Injustice 2.
That gets your blood pumping for sure. So, fighting game community. This is interesting also, and I'm going to go back to, once again, to the width and breadth of your experience, because you mentioned MOBAs. You mentioned 1v1. You mentioned fighting game communities. I'm curious, because the fighting game community is such a unique one. What would you say the differences between the fighting game community fans, for example, you've been at the LANs, and some of these more like MOBAs or 1v1s?
If we take a step back and look at the history of competition in general, fighting games have been in arcades before the internet was even a thing. You put your quarter to reserve your spot, and then you're ready to go. So people were able to cultivate tournaments out of these events to make some sort of just community event that felt social, that people were there to have a good time and to compete and see who was the best.
Like Twin Galaxies style, right?
Exactly. They were able to log the scores and find out who in these local markets were the best. So you had that going on even before, the 2006, 2007, 2008 growth and then bubble popping of that industry of esports, partially, well, mostly due to what happened to the economy, but then it started to grow again in 2010. So when you see the PC and console world, the console world being, Halo, doing their own thing for a while, but then to see it start to grow because of internet distribution, because of YouTube, because of Twitch, because of Mixer, people are able to access this content to where before, if I wanted to watch a StarCraft Brood War video, I have to find it somewhere in Team Liquid forums, buried deep, where Boxer's amazing play was with the Vulture and et cetera, and the Spider Mines, and that's going way back. So now
deep pull,
exactly,
I like it.
Exactly. So now that this is continuing to grow, and more industries and companies are looking at StarCraft 2 and League of Legends, thinking, oh, this. A lot of people are jumping on board because they can watch it. Fighting games were still maintaining and holding onto their grassroots, and they didn't jump on board because their game titles didn't have the internet capabilities yet to have that competition. But as soon as they did, that's when they started to explode when it came to the amount of people that were playing online. That grassroots feeling is never going to go away for the FGC, because at the end of the day, it comes down to who is the best of the best sitting down across the table from you. And each of these regional areas, Florida, Atlanta, the Northeast, the Midwest, SoCal, San Francisco, the Emerald City, each of those areas have their own unique community. And those communities continue to foster and grow, no matter if there's venture capitalists or not coming in with money. They'll do it just to break even or sometimes losing money, because that fire and that passion is so prevalent with those people. And when it comes to the fans, the best example I can give is that my parents have tuned into almost every show that I've done. And they try to watch Dota 2, they try to watch League, and they try to watch StarCraft. They're like, we kind of get it, but we're getting a little bit lost. When they tuned into the Mortal Kombat X Pro League, they understood everything that happened. And our shows were between 2 hours to 3 hours long. And so that was a chunk of time that people could digest. My parents went, oh, we got it. This was great. We were entertained. And they weren't just saying that because they were my parents. So you have that fan base that is able to digest what's happening on the screen way easier compared to other games that require, a lot of items or knowledge about the characters, et cetera, et cetera. So I would say that's the main difference. The fighting game world is, I believe, well, it has already shown to be ready for network television and cable television. And whenever we see that happen, it's always a success for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, now we've covered what you've done. Let's talk about where you're going there. Because you're obviously a guy who's making moves, and you're a guy that knows the scene. What does the future look like for Mr. Gray?
Well, we have the Injustice 2 Pro Series that has been announced. You can get more information at injustice.com/esports. I will personally be at 2 of those events at least. I'll be at Combo Breaker in Chicago next month, and I'll also be at EVO, which is the biggest fighting game competition every year. And if you have a chance to go, especially for the finals. They do a wonderful job to really show what it's like to have an entire community of people in a giant arena cheering for their favorite games. It's pretty dope.
I was gonna say I've never been. I've only ever seen video, but it looks like goosebump inducing.
It is, and it's not only the live production and the competition. It's a reunion for everybody. So many people that I have come to love, that I've worked with from around the world. We get to see each other, if not Combo Breaker, then definitely at EVO, and talk about what's the future, and to hear from the players what they want to see when it comes to the future, because the players always need to have a voice when it comes to competition. Whenever a developer, or publisher, or partners are trying to sponsor or create a league, the players need to have a voice in order to schedule it better for everybody. And that needs to be a continual thing that I'm involved in, even if it costs money out of my own pocket to go to the events. I'd rather do that to make sure the community continues to progress and is on the right track. Outside of that, keeping my eye on other events. Huge congratulations to the Halo guys for putting on a great event. I was able to see some of the highlights. Brilliant. And staying on top of Red Bull as well. I was able to host for Red Bull for Battlegrounds last 2 years, and what they're doing with Conquest is great. The regional matches are fantastic, so I'll be at the event happening May 19th. Nice. And E-League continues to produce great content.
They do.
I wish that E-League or TBS had an app that I could spend $6 to $10 on a month so that I could just catch those episodes whenever I wanted to.
That would be so great. I know.
Because I'm not going to spend $50 on cable.
Yeah, no, I've cut the cord too. I'm with you. And as an E-League alum as well, I would totally agree with you. And I'll say this, you're absolutely right when it comes to people's ability to, really ingest something. And E-League is one of those organizations that has done such a good job.
Honored to work with them, and they continue to push the envelope, along with a lot of other people that continue to push the envelope. But that's one of those things where I've seen other distribution or networks do that, where you pay a fee and you get those programming. So to me, I'm down to pay $10 to get Samantha Bee, Conan O'Brien, and E-League. So hopefully we can see something.
The trifecta. Last question. This is a favorite of ours, and you're often, I'm sure, asked in the non-esports circles. Why esports? Why is it a thing? Why would your parents get into it? Why would X, Y, or Z, Joe Schmo, sports guy, girl, traditional, be in on this? And can they?
I'm reminded of a conversation I had with Jimmy Rollins, who's a famous baseball player. And this was during an event that we did with E-League for Street Fighter V. And I told Jimmy, I said, Jimmy, I played baseball for 14 years growing up. So I know what it's like to be in that batter's box, having to decide to swing at that ball coming at you so fast you have less than a second, right? To make that decision to swing. Well, that is what every fighting game player is doing every second. They have to decide, is that a low? Is that an overhead? Is that a high? Am I going to block? Am I going to counter? Am I going to backstep? Am I going to move forward? Am I going to go for the throw? All these different options that they have to make in that amount of time. And I told that to him, and he said, you're absolutely right. It's exactly like that. So instead of a batter having to wait for the pitch and find that right moment, those fighting game players have to keep finding those right moments over and over and over again. Now, the difference is they don't have to run to that first base and sweat.
I mean, true, yeah.
But they have to outthink their opponent. And there are moments where I have played against some of the pros and I was able to guess correctly or make the right move. Just in that one moment, you know, I win one game out of 50.
Yeah.
But that exhilaration is the same exhilaration that I felt when I was a baseball player or when I was fighting in Taekwondo. It's that same type of, I'm in my element, I'm not thinking, I'm feeling. This is everything that I'm trained for. I'm just gonna be in the moment and go and unleash all my talent. And when you see athletes do that for not just their salary, but for the pride and the honor and to feel that they've accomplished something and they're proud to represent where they're from, you know, their region. That same feeling is with players that play video games. The biggest difference right now, I would say the separator from the traditional sports area and esports is just what the entire media world is going through. Everything is becoming more segmented, more niche, but because it's so much more accessible. And I'm very excited to see where that's gonna go in the future of that. I'm always an entertainer. It's in my blood. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's never going to go away. I tried to go in the Air Force for a bit. I'm like, man, I'm really an entertainer. Even when I was in the Air Force, I had Ace Combat 4. I had the flight stick and the throttle. I had other cadets going, I'm going to buy that from you for $500 to train that for flight school. I'm like, no, man, I need this for flight school. So having video games be always a part of who I am and entertainment always being a part of who I am, to marry those two things together and to also learned so much in the world of producing and hosting and writing and creating segments and filming. It's everything that I could have asked for up until my 30s. Now that I'm 32, I'm going, okay, what else do I want to try to accomplish in this world of entertainment, both inside and outside of esports? And finally, for those that are interested in wanting to join the esports world, the number one thing I would say is bring something to the table. This is entertainment, period. This is the same type of entertainment mentality as the MMA or football or soccer, etc. So look at how each of these entertainment broadcasts are done. You have your graphics package, you have your talent, you have your writers, you have your cameramen, you have your referees, you have your host. You have all sorts of things when it comes to putting on a live production or a tournament. So think about which of those areas you want to be a part of in order to make the broadcast more successful and be realistic with your goals. I mean, it's taken us this amount of time to get where we are now, and it's still a bit of the Wild West. But when it comes to entertainment in general, it's always going to be cutthroat. I mean, being an actor ever since I was 5.
Subjective, cutthroat, absolutely.
My parents like, hey, this is going to be a tough business. Well, so be it. If you're a fan of the game itself, because esports is kind of such a platitude word, I mean, there's so many things that encapsulate what esports is. If you're a fan of that game, be involved in the community as much as you can, and see what areas need your expertise. And if you have to do it pro bono at first to build a body of work, so be it. But as the Joker says, if you're good at something, never do it for free.
I don't know what else to say other than thank you so much, Josh. Where can people find you?
People can find me online, Mr. Joshua Gray, Mr. Joshua Gray on Twitter and Instagram. And I'll be at the different FGC events. I may be streaming a little bit here and there as well, so you can find me on the streaming channels, Mr. Joshua Gray. And thank you, everybody, for supporting the FGC, and we look forward to more success in the future.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Joshua Gray, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, I don't even know where to go from here. So I guess we're going to upcoming tournaments, folks. Actually, yeah, I was going to say, Josh, you're already up here. You want to just help me read them?
Sure.
I believe you. You can do this. Now, remember, folks, for those tournaments that are on the Mixer platform and are part of Mixer Esports, follow the channel to get a notification when they go live. Now, Josh, talk to me about Call of Duty.
For those of us living in Washington State, it's been packed. 2 weeks of esports events. First with Halo World Championship and now with the Call of Duty World League. Seattle, our friends over at Activision and MLG are on the next stop of their tour, and we have pros, amateurs, and everyone in between attending the event for a chance to make it into the prize pool. Tune in starting this Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific on MLG.com and other tuners.
It's true. Let's talk Splatoon 2, shall we? Do you like E3? Do you like Nintendo? Well, now's your chance to have both at the same time. This weekend, the Splatoon 2 Inkling Open. Sorry, if it's Splatoon, I thought Ink. Anyway, is happening, and the grand prize, well, it's a trip to E3, of course, to participate in more tournaments. And guess what? You don't even have to leave your couch to enter. Head over to e3.nintendo.com, grab 3 of your friends, sign up on Battlefly, and boom, you're potentially on your way to E3. Take us home, Josh.
Madden, finally, we have come to the conclusion of the Madden Ultimate League, and we have arrived at the playoff stage. Both the Legend and Elite playoffs start this weekend, and it concludes with the championships next week for a fight over $500,000.
That's $500,000, Josh.
That's a chunk of change. That'll pay off my student loans. Tune in at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific on Mixer.com/Madden this Saturday and Sunday to see who makes it to the championship, and it's always cool to see the glorious celebrations when those players win. Some of the best in Madden.
Absolutely, absolutely true. Well, guys, we'll be right here each and every Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific. That's 6 p.m. Eastern on this channel, Mixer.com/This Week in Esports. Be sure to watch past episodes. Bless you, tabs. Right below on our channel page, and follow us on Twitter at WatchMixer for updates on how the show and what's on the show and what's happening in the wide world of esports. Also this weekend, as is every weekend, tune into #Esports Weekend. That's on Mixer each and every day of the weekend, which, in case you're curious, is Saturday and Sunday. So starting at 9 a.m. Pacific this Saturday with the Paladins Console Series, we'll also have the Smite Minor League and the playoffs for Madden Ultimate League. On Sunday, we once again showcase the North American Regional Tournament for the Paladins Console Series, more Smite Minor League, and even more Madden Ultimate League. And finally, Josh?
And finally, I actually hosted the Smite, first ever Smite esports event down there a couple years ago. There's another story for you guys.
Of course you have.
Of course I did.
That was
a lot of fun. Hi-Res is great. I love Smite. Amazing MOBA on console. Okay.
Absolutely.
And finally, don't forget to watch our sister show Tips and Tricks every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on Mixer.com/Tips and Tricks. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll let you go ahead and close the show, okay?
Well, Josh, I appreciate that very much. And if this was an audition, you obviously got it. Follow the channel so you get a notification when we go live next week, and stick around while we host one of the streamers here on Mixer. But don't worry, we're also seeing what's on the screen. And that means that we have the top 5 of you who answered correctly in our trivia. And you're going home with 2 codes apiece for Madden 18. That's oh no, I'm so sorry. Outward Cyprus.
Yes.
Agent of Mars, Afanasi Russia, Get Ready, and Audio Go Blind 66. Great names all, and congratulations. Check your emails and get excited, because Madden NFL 18 is coming your way. For myself and Josh over here, have a great week.
Good night and good game.